So here's a video of a really nice guy that I met at Caffeine and Octane named Brian, who has this insane rear mount big turbo LS swapped RX7. I spoke with Brian for several minutes and he told me all about this car, but my new microphones that I have are unlike the old microphones that I had before in that they do not automatically turn on when I take them out of the case. They have to be manually turned on. Because of this, I overlooked the fact that the microphones were not on while I was recording this entire video. So because of that, I'm going to instead tell you about what Brian said that I can remember. So Brian told me that he bought this car already LS swapped. The previous owner had done a pretty good job, but there were a few things that needed some attention and some work. When the swap was originally done, it was making in the mid 400 horsepower range naturally aspirated, but Brian wanted to make it forced induction. So Brian added a big rear turbo. When he first added the turbo, I believe that he said it had a 79mm intake and a 76mm hot side on the turbo, and he believes that it may have added over 100 horsepower, but he has not re-dynoed the car since he added the turbo. He has only retuned the car and made modifications to the fuel system, one of which includes switching to E85. Now, when he originally added the turbo, it had a much larger housing, which was introducing some lag into his setup. So with the same size compressor wheel, he wound up going to a smaller housing, which I unfortunately don't remember the exact size that he said, but it greatly improved the turbo lag that he was having. Brian said the body has about 68,000 miles on it, and he did say he's not entirely sure how many miles are on the swap, but it has been very reliable, and his intention with the car is to drive it very hard until it blows up. A man after my own heart. Brian's friend Matt here, who came to the show with him and is parked right here next to him, has an identical color car, Montego Blue, which has a stock motor that has a large turbo and is pretty much otherwise stock. Unfortunately, today it was pretty miserably cold and windy, but still got to see a little bit of how this paint looks under the sunlight, and it is a beautiful color that sort of shifts between a green, blue, and purple very, very subtly, and I definitely have to say I'm a big fan. And while we didn't get to hear Matt's car today because he was lost somewhere in the crowd at Caffeine and Octane, we did get to hear Brian's car, and wow, it sounds insane. He redlined it for a second and I could hear the turbo just going crazy. This thing is so badass. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jet. Love the car, dude. That turbo sounds so good. Brian, thank you very much for your time today and telling me a little bit about your car and letting me hear it. It was a pleasure, and I am once again very sorry that I did not turn on my microphones and I do not have the original audio from this video. But now I'd like to ask you, what do you think? Do you like the LS swapped big turbo rear mounted RX7, or do you prefer the traditional factory rotary engine that came in the RX7 with a larger turbo? While I am a little biased and I do love a good LS swap, I do also greatly appreciate the engineering of the rotary engine. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you liked this video, give it a like, and if you want to see more stuff like this in the future, please be sure to subscribe, and there will be more coming soon.